It is a period of Star Wars mania, as new movies, comic books, novels, and TV shows populate the system. Fueled by their love and passion for the galaxy far, far away, two exceptional geeks tap into hundreds of holocrons in order to bring you the knowledge and insight of all things Star Wars. Come and join them as they go inside the Force.
Welcome back, everyone, to Inside the Force. Thanks for tuning in and listening. I'm David Cottingham here with Casey Cooley.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome back to episode 1 month.
Yes.
Yes.
Indeed.
It is February, episode 1 month. We like episode 1.
Yes, indeed, we do. Very much.
I do. I like episode 1.
Daggone it.
Yeah, daggone it. I keep thinking of something, which I'll mention later.
Okay.
But we are highlighting characters and the such from episode 1 this month. Last week, God, I just drew a blank.
We did. But what's his face? Kitster.
Kitster, that's right, little Kitster. Yeah, we talked little Kitster. Wasn't too much on him, but got some talk on him out there. So we will continue that this month, this week for episode 1, and talk about Watto, the junkyard owner and master to Anakin Skywalker. We'll talk about him, and then we'll get into some news, do some trivia. We'll talk about a little bit of the latest issue of The Star Wars, number 5, that came out,
Star Wars.
Based on the original rough draft of Star Wars by Lucas. And that'll be plenty, I think.
That'll be it. That's the show. We'll go home.
Yeah, we'll go home and see you back next week.
Yep.
All right, so diving right in, we're going to talk about Watto. Everybody knows from episode 1, had a brief appearance episode 2, when Anakin and Padme went back to Tatooine.
I always thought that was cool.
That was cool.
Seeing him again.
Yeah, it was 10 years later, so
Yeah.
It was interesting to see how much different he was.
Get that little hat. That's about it.
That's right. And he looked older. He looked old. And as we'll explain what happened.
Yeah.
And another thing that is kind of explained is how he lost his tooth.
Yes.
He had half his tooth there. Okay, so anyway, he is from the planet Toydaria. So he's Toydarian, obviously. And he is so when he was born, not exactly sure his age.
Oh, I don't know. He seems old.
He does seem old, and there's not really an explanation of their lifespan either. But but he's Toydarian, and he was born very young. And the thing about their planet is it suffers frequent famines.
Okay, right.
And when the famines happen, they tend to fight each other. The clans kind of fight each other to basically get the other person's food stock. So he joined one of these groups that fought, which was called the Asiki Confederacy Army, and he was basically a soldier. And as he fought during these famines, that's when he broke one of his tusks. They call it. It looks like a tooth, basically, but it's
They're long teeth.
yeah, long teeth.
Yeah, do you actually remember looking this up? Because I thought Toydaria was in Clone Wars. It was in season 3.
It was
episode 3. I think 5. It was mentioned in 4. But yeah, just so if you want to look back at those episodes to see what it was
very
like.
first. I thought wasn't the very first episode Yoda on when
No, it was in
Yoda?
Toydaria.
No, it's not Toydaria.
I don't think so.
Because wasn't he
I don't.
he trying to get there to negotiate before
Was that
Essentia Ventress?
Asajj
Ventress?
Yeah.
It was called Ambush. Wasn't that the first episode?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. It was.
That was
Yes,
Toydaria, wasn't
that
it?
was Toydaria, but I think they were on. I'll look this up. Yeah, you're right. Ambush. Let's see. They were on a moon. Must have been a moon
of Toydaria?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the
okay.
moon of Toydaria. So the Toydarians were there. Yeah.
I know, yeah, because I remember them all just sitting there fluttering and all that stuff.
Yeah. That he's with the king or whatever.
Yeah. Because Ventress was kind of getting there, trying to prove that you should be part of the Confederacy, and
that was like the first thing. So he saw like people getting smoked. So he
realized Yoda just went off.
Gonna be the same thing.
Yeah, and then Yoda was going crazy.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to Watto. He was part of this thing. Fought in a lot of wars. Lost one of his tusks. So and it left one of his legs lame as well. So after this, all this happened, and losing so much, he basically figured there was nothing left for him at Toydaria, so he left. Traveled around, but ended up coming to Tatooine, where he first. And when he first got there, he basically started hanging out with the Jawas.
You're right.
Learning the trades and learning about the mechanical stuff, about scraps, just picking up different selling techniques, everything. I mean, Jawas, that's what they do. They collect scraps and sell it. And that big thing called a sand crawler.
Sand crawler. Crawling sand.
That thing is huge.
That is. They live there, right? Do they live there?
I think the whole civilization, travels around in that thing. I guess.
Several of them,
I would think.
Going around.
All I think about when I see one of those is like, all I think about is like the very top where the windows are.
Yeah.
Like some Jawa driving this big wheel. You know what I mean? Like, can't even see
over it.
Yeah.
It's all on booster chair.
That's all I think about when I see that thing.
That's where the one tall Jawa.
Yeah. Right.
Normal height.
Yeah. The freak.
4-footer. Tony up there. He's a weirdo. Oh my gosh.
Anyway, Jawas.
Some Star Wars humor.
What does he call those?
What?
Strange. I
Who?
was thinking of 3PO. Didn't he call Jawas like some
I don't know. I can't
filthy?
remember.
I don't know. Okay, so Tatooine. We're on Tatooine now. Watto's hanging out with the Jawas. Eventually, sets up his junk shop in Mos Espa. He borrowed money to pay for the building. Helped. He had. That's how he got into acquiring slaves to help him run the shops, and get droids, and to help him run the shop, and very successful. He was and ended up being able to pay off his debts in the first year.
Yeah, that's. He actually was good at it. Because I always got the impression he was just a bad, crooked guy, but he actually was a successful businessman. And
because of the knowledge from the Jawas, though, he was able to work with them as well as go out on his own and scavenge and grab parts and pieces, broken pieces, and bring them back to his shop because he had that kind of used parts in the back, where we see Qui-Gon with him. Yeah. So he had droids and stuff, repairing stuff and building stuff and getting product available in the back there. So very successful. And he preferred he obviously preferred dealing with outlanders than locals because he can swindle, take advantage. Obviously, it's known that he has that chance cube that he carries around. Yeah. Kind of helped with betting and whatnot. So, but of course, like everybody, hanging out on Tatooine, he got into betting on the pod racings. Eventually, he owed, or he got into debt with the Hutts. Gardola, to be exact, Gardola the Hutt. I tried to look her up. I didn't see any relations with.
So it is a female.
It is a female, and I don't think she has. She's there. You see her at the pod race. The
behind Jabba?
Yeah.
So she's not Jabba's wife?
I don't think so. I was looking her up. I didn't see
that.
Yeah, I would assume too, but I didn't see any. Maybe when we get to that, we will.
I will breeze through this and try to figure it out. You can keep talking. I'll try to discover.
Actually, it looks like it looks like she works for Jabba.
Okay.
Anyway, so he falls into debt with Gardola, and then as he was visiting her to either, I guess, pay some debts back or something like that, he noticed Anakin. He noticed the young boy there, and he was only about 3 years old at this point. But a 3-year-old Anakin repairing some vaporators, and it was weird because Watto was telling him, "Hey, you're doing that wrong."
Yeah.
And but Anakin kept insisting, "No, I'm not. He actually found a better way to do it."
Yeah.
So Watto thought it was wrong, but actually he was improving the system, and so obviously he took notice, and then from then he tried to he basically bet Gardola on a pod race wagered, and his side was to win the boy and Shmi, his mother.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere that Anakin was around 4 years old around that time. So imagine,
right?
Basically, your daughter, Sammy, like a little 4-year-old.
Yeah, I know.
That's smart.
Yes,
that's awesome.
That's true.
At that little young of an age,
building stuff and knowing
when you have the Force.
Yeah, it's true.
You can do all that kinds of stuff.
Yeah, when you're born from the midi-chlorians.
Yeah. My gosh.
So obviously bringing Anakin into the shop just excelled it even more because he was able to rebuild and create things and repair things. Became very, very valuable for Watto, obviously, for the next few years up until basically what we know, which is when Qui-Gon and a guy named Jar Jar and Padme walk in the shop. And then obviously we know what happens then, pod racing. I don't know is there anything that stands out?
From the pod race stuff?
Yeah, during that time.
No. I mean, they're not basically what we already knew. Like it talked about for episode 1, there was that one race before episode 1 where Anakin crashed.
Oh, right.
Talked about that, but nothing
like with Sebulba.
No.
Right?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I remember because that's when he's talking about in episode 1, he's like, Sebulba flashed his vents.
Yeah, that was the race before, yeah.
Yeah.
Where Anakin wrecks the thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's some cool things that happened. It was it's almost like a deleted scene in a sense where when Watto loses the bet at the pod race at the Bunta Eve pod race, there's that part where Anakin or Qui-Gon is saying, would you like me to report you to the Hutts? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, all right, take him. Well, as he's leaving the race there, he sees a couple of Jabba's thugs, and he convinces them, basically saying, I'll pay you to go approach Qui-Gon and say, you're not taking Anakin, blah, blah, blah. And so he's back at the shop, and then so basically around the time that you see Qui-Gon in episode 1 approaching out by the ship with Ewan, with Obi-Wan, saying, I install the hyperdrive, I'll be back, I got some things to do.
Virgins.
Yes. So as he goes back, the thugs basically approach him, and Watto's back at the shop waiting on them to report. Well, then Qui-Gon shows up instead and basically says, I'm not here to get tricked. I just need the deactivation because that's the thing we missed. If you pay attention to episode 1, you know that these slaves there's chips that installed so they don't escape.
Yeah.
If they do, then they'll basically explode.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So Qui-Gon, that's what he goes back for. He goes back for the chip, the device that deactivates it. So Watto had to go in his safe and get it, and then deactivated it, and then and that's when he left and sold the pod racer, and that's when we see him when he shows up, and at that point too, he was talking about trying to free his mother, which he wouldn't have. And so that's all that backstory that kind of you hear when he talks to him.
Very cool.
So beyond that, once obviously, I thought it was pretty neat about the whole Shmi story.
Between episode 1 and 2, because next time we see him, he's old and just kind of at the end of he's just sitting there. It looks like he's defeated. But after doing this research, a lot happened, as you would assume, in 10 years, where Watto, with his history of betting, just did more betting. Well, because apparently losing this pod race and losing Anakin really tore him up, actually. Not just because he lost money, but he started to actually miss Anakin. And it's ironic because Watto was, as you can glimpse from the movie, he was a horrible, kind of, not a nice, whatever you call him, Toydarian, not a nice, not person, but nice being, where he would actually beat and abuse Anakin.
Yeah.
He was horrible to him. But he actually grew to respect him more, it says, like more than most humans, partly because of his skills in repairing. And then when Anakin left, obviously Shmi was devastated. And Watto also is starting to really miss Anakin as, for personal, as a actual personal relationship that he had established. And it's interesting to see that he apparently heard of, they heard of the battle of Naboo. Yeah. They heard of Qui-Gon being killed, which I don't know. I guess they must have heard. I don't know how they heard actually someone say Qui-Gon, the guy who was here, was a Jedi and he was killed. I don't know. But then Shmi was like, "Well, what about Anakin?" And Watto also wanted to know what happened to Anakin. And they found out he was he became a Jedi, all this stuff. But Watto kept getting into bad deals, kept getting into debt, and a lot of business strategies, like where he expanded his business, or he was losing business. A lot of back and forth in that sense happened over the course of the 10 years. But he also now started to grow closer to Shmi, where he kept her around the shop doing some kind of repairs on computers or whatever he would have her do, and just kind of keep her close, so maybe to fill a void for Anakin. But then started coming around this moisture farmer, Klieg Lars, who wanted some simple parts for a ship or whatever. Didn't want to be swindled by Watto, but he kept coming back, and I think he started to keep coming back because of Shmi. Klieg Lars. He started taking notice of Shmi, and then he wanted to actually buy her from Watto. He started giving Watto all these propositions. I'll trade you my ship or my land speeder or something. I'll trade you this or whatever for Shmi, so I can own Shmi. Watto wouldn't do it. He basically wanted to keep Shmi for himself, just to have someone around, I guess. So he kept rejecting Klieg Lars's propositions. Then he kind of gave up. Then one day, this kind of drifter, this young-looking guy, came by with this lens. I think he wanted Watto to repair.
Yeah,
and there was he showed Watto the lens, and I think the only way to repair it, there was like a certain part they needed or something needed to do something with this lens. And Klieg Lars had this part that Watto needed. So Watto went over to Lars saying, like, I need this so I can repair this item. And Lars says, well, listen, okay, I'll give you this if you give me Shmi, basically. So I was like, all right, fine. So they switched. Finally, he sold Shmi to Lars and then fixed this lens for this random dude who came by his shop. And then, sometime later, Watto had, I think he found out that Lars freed Shmi and married her.
Yep.
But before that, actually, talk about the chip, the device inside of the slaves that can blow them up. Watto had deactivated that sometime before.
That's right.
So she didn't even know. She didn't know, but she actually could have ran away if she wanted to. But so then Watto was like, listen, this device is off, so yeah, you can be freed, whatever, you're fine, just live your life. Then he went to the Marshall farm to kind of talk to Klieg Lars after this time has passed, and he saw that random guy came by his shop. Turns out it's Owen Lars, Klieg Lars' son, Luke's uncle. So it was basically Klieg Lars had orchestrated this whole little...
That's right.
This ruse into getting Shmi, basically to marry her. somewhat of a weird love story, I guess. I don't know. But that was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool.
Very interesting story. And then it came to episode 2. We see Anakin came back and Shmi died. All that.
And finally, I guess the most interesting, not the most interesting, but later on, the last interesting bit is that, so he basically ran was ran that shot for throughout the entire Galactic Civil War. And shortly after, I guess, I think maybe it was episode 2 or shortly after, but he hired as one of his assistants. He hired Wald,
Yeah.
which was the little
Rodian.
Rodian in episode 1 that was friends with Anakin. And basically, in the end, he retires and actually gives his shop to Wald.
Yeah.
So Wald is now the owner of Watto's shop.
Yeah. Wald's Parts or something. What do they call it? He called it something like that.
Wald's Parts.
Wald's Parts.
He renamed the shop to Wald's Parts. What was the shop called?
I don't know.
Was it Watto's Parts?
Maybe. I don't know.
Watto's
shop. I don't know.
Yeah, it was just Watto's shop.
Okay.
Yeah. And he made it to Wald's Parts. Sometime, I think it was around 0 BBY, I think. Anyway. But yeah, that's pretty much Watto, the Toydarian.
Here it is. The Toydarian.
Yeah, so not all that bad, but, he used his slaves well. Because they weren't, Anakin and Shmi weren't his only ones. He had ones before that, but but they were his latest and last, I guess. So a little bit more insight on Anakin and Shmi there, and Watto the Toydarian. So, all right, moving on. Let's see.
The news. Not much. Some interesting things. The Clone Wars bonus content, the season 6 stuff, as we've said for a few weeks about it airing in Germany. That is actually going to happen this Saturday, or when I guess they're gonna just do it weekly, like normal. I don't know, I suppose, but basically they're gonna start airing the Clone Wars season 6 stuff in Germany this Saturday. And yeah, so I don't know why we're not getting it, but they released the trailer for the bonus content. And it's in German, so I don't understand it. I think there is a version with English subtitles. I haven't watched it, but I watched the German one. Not much happens. It's just a lot of quick shots of all the different characters, pretty much. Looks cool. I mean, there's some interesting shots of Camino, the cloning facilities, making new clones. I see there's like a shot of like infant clones being birthed or whatever, and there's shots of Darth Tyrannus, Palpatine, and Sidious, all that stuff. So it's going to start happening in Germany, at least. So if you're in Germany, if we have any German listeners, you guys are super lucky. You're going to get the first look at Star Wars Clone Wars Season 6. We Americans will have to wait, I suppose.
I don't get it.
I don't know why we get first dibs.
I don't get it.
I don't know. Good for you, though, Germany.
Yeah.
So that's weird.
First you get Celebration, and now you're getting the Clone Wars from us. What the?
Yeah. Anyways, we'll get it soon. We have to. Probably spring. That's weird. Oh, well. But moving on to actually Rebels.
Now, I probably will get pissed if they get the movie before us for some reason.
The Rebels movie that...
No, if they get episode
7 first?
I will be very upset.
Maybe London. I could see maybe London, but...
No. It needs to be worldwide or just here.
Roman's Chinese Theater.
Yes.
In L.A. or whatever. But, no, but Star Wars Rebels, they will air, it says here, a Rebels TV special, basically a TV movie this summer on the Disney Channel.
Sweet.
This has been released. There was like this huge Disney shareholder letter that the Walt Disney Company published, talking about just all their assets and all that stuff. And part of it was Star Wars, of course. And they mentioned having a Star Wars Rebels TV special this summer, followed by it's a 2-episode Star Wars Rebels TV special. So it basically looks like they're just combining 2 episodes of the first 2 episodes, whatever. So it's like a 1-hour special.
Yeah.
And after that, along with that, there will be some animated shorts. I'm assuming, I guess it's Rebels related. And then later on in the fall, the series will premiere on Disney XD. So that's not total surprise. There has been rumored of some sort of Disney Star Wars thing happening in the summer, some TV special. So this is what it is, the Rebels. So that's it. I don't know. I guess it is the first 2 episodes, because I remember reading in the past where the first few episodes might just be introducing the characters. So this is probably what it is, just this 1 hour.
That's basically what the Clone Wars movie ended up doing.
Yes, true. So
they wanted to be better. The first couple episodes got too long, so they just combined it into a movie. Yeah. It was the first arc, basically. Kind of introduced Ahsoka and
just the new world.
The situation, yeah.
It's cool. But I'm excited for that. I'm looking forward to it. Rebels is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I wish they were actually doing it theatrical, because I went and saw Clone Wars in the theater. Did you see it in the theater?
No, I did not.
Yeah, I caught at the very end, because honestly, I didn't even know it was out. I really was like, okay, we're done with Star Wars isn't going to come out anymore. Yeah. And I heard about it coming out, but I didn't know that they released a movie. Yeah. Because I remember it was August, and I really happened to just was me and Chad were looking for a movie, and I saw Star Wars Clone Wars. I'm like, what? This is in theaters? And I started looking at it like, dude, we're going to go see this
Star Wars movie. Yeah.
So it was just me and him in a theater, because it was it was late in the release. I got to admit, it was good. It was okay. Yeah. But it was far different than where the show went.
Absolutely.
I mean, the show got a lot darker, and that was a very uppity kiddie movie, kind of thing.
Baby Putt.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. And he kept Snips and what did she call him?
I can't remember. It's been a while.
Freak. What's he?
I don't remember.
He called her Snips.
Yeah. That kind of stuck too. Snips.
I know it wasn't Annie.
No, it was.
Oh man, I can't remember. I can't believe I forget.
Didn't Christopher Lee voice? Did they have Christopher Lee and Sam Jackson?
And Sam Jackson. Yeah,
that's awesome.
I know they did the movie, and then they didn't do the show. Man. But it was the same. Lancer did Skywalker, and then JAT and
Tom Kenny and all those guys.
And then what's her name? Eckstein, Ashley Eckstein. Yeah. Which I didn't realize. You're not a sports guy, really.
No.
I didn't realize she's married to a baseball player named Eckstein. That's how, which I knew he was a baseball player, and I just happened to read her information, and she married, I can't remember his first name, but I know he plays for the Cardinals.
Oh, that's cool.
And I was like, oh my God, I didn't know I thought her name was Eckstein. I didn't know she married an Eckstein.
Yeah, that's cool.
Anyway.
That's cool. Oh.
Ashley Eckstein. Yeah. I'm still... Yeah.
Anyways, episode 7. The Star Wars episode 7. There have been a couple stories.
There's an episode 7?
Yeah. It's like Dumb and Dumber. That's great.
Yeah.
But there's been a couple stories talking about when Star Wars episode 7 is going to begin shooting. A while ago, not too long ago, I read an article stating it's going to be somewhere in May to about August. I think they actually had specific dates, but this new article, which it's crazy now we're having rumors about when they're starting shooting. This also says starting shooting mid-May, but it's going to run through the end of September, or just through September of this year. Where it says most principal casting have been complete. They will announce it later, so I guess there's still some more casting going on. But this is coming from HitFix. That source. So yeah, I mean, it's not like crazy news, but that's pretty interesting. We thought that's about right. I mean, we thought they would shoot later.
They have to. Yeah. I mean, you only got a year and a half after that.
Yeah. So they got plenty of time now since they got December release date. Plenty of time.
Well, they're doing all the previs stuff right now. Right. They're even probably building digital sets right now. I mean, it's underway.
Gosh.
It is underway.
What are they doing right now?
I just can't believe we haven't heard any casting yet.
That's
anything. Not even like Harrison is in it.
Yeah. Well,
Mark Hamill is in it.
Isn't your theory that they're just going to do everything
I
at
would
once,
think.
right?
I think. I mean, do you think they're still deciding at all? Or do you think
I feel like they got it.
You think the whole cast is decided?
The main, like if they are doing the kids, yeah.
You think the kids are casted?
I would think so. Especially if this is true. I mean, I think all the main characters, I think, are casted.
Well, because there's rumors about like Gary Oldman still got contacted. Yeah. I mean, we don't even know who got contacted, honestly.
Like Zac Efron just said, "Yeah, I read for it."
Yeah.
I never got contacted.
Do you think anybody from Star Trek is going to be?
No.
Nobody?
I wouldn't think so. I mean, I hate now that it's become you just can't believe anything that anybody says.
Totally.
It's like Benedict Cumberbatch, all that stuff.
But it's true how, usually if you have a director, usually you have the same actors a lot of the time. But
it's someone from Star Trek.
But a franchise like that, those two franchises is tough.
I mean, I could see Benedict Cumberbatch being in it.
Yeah.
Because he's
none of the main ones. I don't think.
Although he is,
no Chris Pine.
No, Simon Pegg won't be in it. No,
right.
No, yeah.
But I think you can. I think Cumberbatch is definitely a possibility.
I
think what's his name? I never remember his name all the time, but Captain Pike.
Oh, geez. Bruce Greenwood.
Yes, like he is great.
He's good.
He is so good.
Yeah.
I definitely see him possibly being in a Star Wars movie, like being a senator or an Imperial officer or something like that.
I mean, that's what was the next thing I was going to talk about. Gary Oldman.
Yes,
because he's been called about Star Wars Episode 7, but that's all he said. So it sounds like it's not like a definite thing. Yeah. That's so crazy.
But he didn't say I got called and I turned it down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He never. Yeah.
He just said I got called. I got called. I mean, obviously, he probably gets called for everything. Yeah, but
Star Wars,
he got a call.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
he's already like my number 2 favorite actor of all time.
That's exactly like when Ewan. I remember we were seeing interviews with Ewan, and this makes me think, like, is Star Wars on that level again? Where, because Ewan always says, when he got called, it's Star Wars. You don't say no to Star Wars.
Yeah,
you do Star Wars.
Yeah,
so it's like. I got called to do Star Wars. Hell yeah, I'm doing Star Wars. Yeah. Like, I wonder if Gary's thinking that. Like, they want me to do. I'm going to do Star Wars. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I don't know if it's on that level anymore, like it was prior to Episode 1.
I feel like a lot of other actors feel that way, though. Still feel that way.
I would think so.
You've seen so many actors already who have said, like, I would love to do Star Wars. Just call me up. Please call me. I want to do it.
I know Timberlake wants to be in it badly.
But, like, these people who have passed. Apparently Leonardo DiCaprio passed on it. Or like Ryan Gosling or something. I don't know.
Well, them two, they were up for Anakin. They were up for Anakin when Hayden won. Hayden beat, I think, last I heard, it was between Ryan Phillippe.
Wow.
It was between Ryan Phillippe and Hayden Christensen.
I want to know Lucas's reasoning.
I don't know. And apparently Leo and apparently, like you said, Ryan Gosling were other candidates. I don't know if they ever read.
True.
So they might have been offered or talked about it.
Yeah.
But I know Ryan Phillippe was reading with Natalie Portman.
Yeah. That DiCaprio, that's right around when he kind of came back. Too.
Oh yeah.
That's his
that would have been right after Gangs of New York, I think.
It was like Gangs of New York and Catch Me If You Can were all like 2002.
Yeah.
That was like his big year, comeback year.
They shot it in 2000. So it was right after Gangs, I think. Gangs was 99, I think, or something like that.
I don't know.
Then Gangs came out in 99, then he would have done this next.
Gangs of New York, that was 2000. That was 2002, I think. Because Titanic was 97.
Yeah. It was after Titanic.
Yeah.
So.
Interesting. Gosh, that would have been that would have been cool.
I would have liked Leo in it, honestly.
Yeah, it would have been cool.
I mean, back then I was kind of a Leo, like, whatever.
Yeah.
King of the world.
Yeah.
But, he's become a fabulous, fantastic actor.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt about that. He is. He might even win an Oscar this year.
Maybe.
What else we got?
That's all I got.
That's all you got?
That's all I got.
Okay, so, again, not anything too concrete yet, but hopefully we'll get there.
Yeah, soon. Definitely soon.
Absolutely.
Next couple months.
Okay, so we have number 5 of Star Wars, the comic book came out. This is the short miniseries. I think it's only a 7-issue series, and we've talked about it each month it's been out. It's the original draft of Star Wars by George Lucas, adapted into a comic book. And I don't know. What do you want to say about this one?
I'm still not in it.
Yeah.
I'm interested because of it is the original draft, so therefore I'm going to read it because I'm interested in what is similar. And there are still a lot of interesting similarities. I'm just not interested in the story itself.
I agree.
I'm not invested.
I don't know how I'd feel if this was actually the movie and everybody had lightsabers.
Yeah.
Like Han Solo has a lightsaber.
Everybody's got lightsabers. Yeah.
Everybody has a lightsaber.
No one
has a gun really.
Yeah.
Except some of the stormtroopers that do, but some of them don't.
Yeah.
And parts of it, unfortunately, I hate to say this, but like parts of it was just very bad dialogue.
It was very bad. Which I still don't know if we can safely say this is this still like a very faithful adaptation of the original screenplay?
As far as I know, it is. Okay. It's the first draft. That's a rough draft, so it's not like any fine tuning and all that stuff. Yeah. It's a rough draft. That's why it's a little weak. But this seemed like it was a lot weaker than the other ones.
Just that one scene.
Yeah, the scene between
Leia and Anakin.
Yeah.
And I'm still kind of lost, like just because it's been a month since I read the last issue, so I'm not as
right.
It's not fresh. The story's not fresh in my mind. So,
I mean, this has a lot to. This kind of is a mixture between when they leave the Death Star and but it's kind of cross between busting out of Tatooine. I mean, it's like
there's a lot. Yeah, there's a
lot of cross
blurred lines.
Yes, because it seems like they're jumping into a ship that's supposed to be like the Falcon, but it ends up looking like the Tantive 4. Tantive 4.
It does.
So, yeah, I don't know.
I don't like.
I'll read it, but it's not.
They just make. I don't like Anakin because he looks like a Hanson. It's just like he's got that surfer boy hair, and he's a bit of a wimp in this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Luke Skywalker is the big.
I feel like there's like a lot of just brash decisions and choices in this. Like they're all the characters are always turning like 180. I feel like they're always like, we're doing this now. Now we're going to do this. I don't know, but I'm still going to read it because it's just really interesting. Yeah, and there's not really I don't think there's not really a big presence of a bad guy either. I'm honestly confused
who the bad guy is.
Which one's Vader, which one's Valorum.
That's Valorum that they run into.
With the mask over his face.
It's weird. I don't know. But we'll report on it.
Yeah.
In the next couple months to finish it.
The covers are cool. I like the cover.
The cover art is really good. And of course, Dark Horse. This is their last year with the Star Wars comic books. So, the Brian Wood series is really, really good. Oh, yeah. And I think that one comes out this week. All right, so real quick on the Star Wars TCG site, the card game that we're playing and talking about. We just put out a real quick episode yesterday because Popular Fanatics guys they were out of town, so we kind of just filled in for them. But we're going to do another one. Episode 10 will be this Saturday with 3 of us, Casey, Corey, and myself. We're going to talk about kind of the our results from the deck testing that we did for one of the championship decks, actually the championship deck. What those results were. We'll kind of get a little bit more into get Casey's feeling on the new Smugglers objective set that got released. Just a preview of it. That'll be in the Force Pack for next month. That's not coming out till March. And then we'll kind of talk about what we're going to do from then on. Secondly, we launched, I don't know if we talked about this last week. Did we talk about Camera One?
I think we did.
Okay. So we talked about a little bit about Camera One. So that's at our YouTube channel, youtube.com/21network. There's a playlist on there right now with all the Camera Ones, so you can subscribe to the...
Maybe for those who don't know what they are, in case I forget and we actually didn't mention it last week.
Yeah, so camera one is just basically the hosts of the podcast. We're kind of doing little 2 to 5 minute videos right to the camera, kind of talking about a variety of topics. Could be podcast related, could be just rants, could be just opinions. Just something that's normally related to the podcast. So right now you got, like, I've done a couple where I've talked about, like, getting a preview of In the Comics by talking about a couple books. I did a review kind of the Walking Dead premiere that came out this past Sunday, the mid-season premiere. Chad kind of went off on, or kind of gave his opinion on Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. Mm-hmm. Corey just went through his fridge.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know. Yeah. You never know what you're going to get. Like a box of chocolates.
Yeah, that's what to say that.
So check that out. That's going to be some videos that are randomly come. There's not a set date for those, so they're just going to randomly pop up.
You're just going to constantly be on our website to see when they come on.
Or you can just follow
or
any of the podcasts on Twitter, or you can definitely follow at 21 Network. That's where they're all going to be tweeted from. Right from you can watch them right off of Twitter, and they'll be on our Facebook page /21 Network on Facebook as well. And then another series, kind of Star Wars related, that we are starting as a company, 21 Productions, on our 21 Productions YouTube channel, which is /21pro. We are starting a series called Star Wars Quotes from a 4-year-old. And there's a really cute little girl named Sam Cottingham who is going to be doing Star Wars quotes for you.
Yep.
And that's really it. You want to talk about a short video, you ain't got to sit there for 10 minutes and watch this thing. It's going to be, we're going to be putting out 1 quote a week. So I'm thinking every Tuesday, since kind of coincide with Inside the Force here. Every Tuesday, you pretty much get a Star Wars quoted movie. We'll tweet it out. It'll be on the Facebook page, the 21 Pro Facebook page. So follow both of those if you can. At 21 Pro is that Twitter account. It's let me know.
It's the Dorbs.
Yeah, let us know what you think about it. And if you love it, share it. Get it out there. I want to make this thing go viral. I want to get her on Ellen.
Yeah,
that's the goal.
Great. Absolutely.
Actually, I want to get her apart in episode 7.
Yes.
That's the goal.
So we have to do this fast.
Absolutely. Maybe episode 8. I can wait till episode 8.
So she'll be 6, maybe? She'll be 6.
Well, they'll probably start shooting 2 years from now, probably. Yeah, she'll be 6.
That's good age.
Yeah, this is a good age. She'll be able to memorize lines.
Yeah.
And talk. No, she's memorizing lines right now. See, that's what I'm casting right now.
You're doing her video reel right now.
That's right.
Demo
reel right now. Man, it's perfect. So check that out. That'll make her happy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else? Do some trivia.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Moving on to trivia here. I think I'm up 2 on Casey right now. Yeah. Is that right? Let me see.
You're right.
Yep. Okay. So, again, we're doing episode 1 trivia. That will get us. So go ahead and pick Case again. Up until 418. 0 through 418.
300.
300. Okay, here we go. Question 300 from the Phantom Menace era. Okay, let me type it in. 300. Here we go. What do Gungan Boomas consist of?
Mm-hmm.
What do Gungan Boomas consist of? A, poisonous gel sapped from aquatic plant roots.
Dang.
B, sharp wooden spikes encased in a charged organic membrane. C, unstable plasmic energy encased in a charged organic membrane. Or D, shrapnel particles extracted from cola claw fish.
Jeez, that's good.
What do Gungan Boomas consist of?
May I look at it?
Yes.
I think I have my guess, but
I think I have mine as well.
300. Poisonous gel sap poisonous gel sapped from aquatic plant roots, sharp wooden spikes encased in a charged organic membrane, unstable plasmic energy encased in a charged organic membrane, shrapnel particles extracted from Kolo clawfish. I'm going to go with...
Go ahead, you can type in the answer.
Go with C.
Is that the plasma?
Well, unstable plasmic energy.
I'm going C.
Encased in
I think that's right.
Yeah. C. There it
Ding,
is.
ding, 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 ding.
Well, at least we got it right.
Yeah, that was... I thought that was fairly easy because you can clearly tell.
Just look at it. I wouldn't have been surprised if it was like... Was this from these other fish from like D or like A, poisonous gel, aside from aquatic plant roots.
Yeah.
It's got like a gel-like quality, and I figured they're aquatics. They're an aquatic species, so I was like, it's gonna be like it's gonna be a twist, but no, it's pretty simple.
Pretty standard.
But that's all right. I mean, you have to know what a booma is.
A booma is
So
that's
you
what it
know
is.
what that is. So
that's what it is now.
Watch the movie. You
Yes.
know what that is. We
All
still
right.
don't have a booma.
That'll do it.
That'll do. That'll do, pig.
For the second episode of episode 1 month. Tune in next week as we continue this by profiling something from episode 1. Tweet us at Inside the Forest. Send us your emails. In fact, I neglected last week to mention an email that we got from one of our devoted listeners.
Cool.
It was from Joseph again. And it was funny because I'm not sure if we can do this, Joseph, but I definitely want to bring this up. I forgot to mention it, but he said, hey, it's Joe again. I was thinking the other day that it would be interesting if you were to dedicate a month after episode 3 month to profiling parodies.
Huh.
Particularly Spaceballs.
Yeah. That's
not a bad idea.
I
thought about that. And maybe we could do a Spaceballs month in a sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if there's Wikipedia on.
They're not canon. So
yeah,
I don't
exactly.
think it's Wikipedia, no.
No, it's not Wikipedia. Wikipedia.
Wiki, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any information because they have like
barf.
They have like DC wikis and
and
all these wikis. I don't know if they have a Spaceballs wiki, but
Darth Helmet.
Helmet, yeah. Surrounded by assholes. He's my cousin.
Barf.
Anyway, he said, thanks again for the show's podcast. They always make my day. Thank you, Joe, for listening. We appreciate it, man. Keep sending suggestions and emails to us. Follow us on Twitter. Like I said, Inside the Force, at Inside the Force, InsideTheForce.com. The email that Joseph's using, info@InsideTheForce.com. Send your thoughts there. Let us know if you want us to profile something also, just like Joseph suggested. And we'll see if we can get it in there. Again, listen to our Star Wars, the card game podcast, Star Wars TCG. That is StarWarsTCG.com. Follow that. He is Kryptonian1138. I am D. Cottingham21 on Twitter. Again, check out 21 Pro YouTube. That's where you'll get Star Wars quotes from a 4-year-old, my 4-year-old. And then, of course, check out Camera One on the 21 Network, as well as, we're still going to be producing videos as well, but these are going to be short, simple ones that we're going to get out there frequently. All right, so for Casey Cooley.
Here it comes. You think you're some kind of Jedi waving your head around like that? I'm a Toydarian. Mind tricks don't work on me. Only money. No money, no parts, no deal. There you go.
Nice.
You had to.
It's a good Watto.
That's right.
It's a good Watto.
Get better.
Yeah. All right. We appreciate you guys listening. Check out 21network.com for all the other shows. And, of course, check back here next Tuesday for another episode of Inside the Force. Have a good week, everybody, and may the Force be with you.
This has been a production of the 21 Network. For more great podcasts, visit 21network.com. To view additional content, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/21network. Follow us on Twitter at 21network for the latest news and updates. The 21 Network, for the fan and all of us.